Good Wednesday evening, everybody. Welcome to Weather on the Go Weather Channel here. Welcome to my live stream. And today we're going to be talking about severe weather mainly, but we will also be talking about the wintry side of this storm system as well. If you guys are just on the way in, make sure to press that like button. It's the thumbs up button down below the live stream. Subscribe to the YouTube channel or consider subscribing if you guys are new and have not yet subscribed, and hit the notification bell so you get all these live streams like this one and my videos each and every day. So thank you guys so much for joining. And additionally, I wanted to tell you guys what's new on the live stream here is down below in the description. I actually have 3 videos of you guys. If you guys are interested to watch after this live stream, you guys can do so. I have video for today's weather forecast. I have an educational video, my first ever educational video on derechos. It's a very good video. You guys go check that out. And also my spring forecast that's been out for about a month now, still valid to this day, a spring forecast for 2023. You guys can go check that out after this live stream. All 3 of those videos are down below in the description. And if you guys do not follow me on Twitter, follow me on Twitter at hweather420. You guys get Twitter updates on there with weather, live streams, videos, a bunch of things like that, and retweeting pictures and stuff like that for storm reports. You guys get all of that on Twitter. So thank you guys so much. I just wanted to get all that out of the way so you guys know about all that as well. So let's see who is in the live stream here this evening. We got Georgianne in here as well. Kentuckian, a fellow Kentuckian. Thanks for joining. Matt Mittens from the Conway area. Thank you for joining. Linda, thank you for joining as well this evening. Thank you so much. Christy, thanks for joining for Kentucky. Tim Key from Wisconsin, and Proud Southern Girl from Alabama. Thanks for joining. Definitely much appreciated. Again, guys, hit that like button on the way in. The more likes we get, the more people that join the live stream here. I see we have over 40 people on here, so thank you so much for watching. So getting right into the meat and potatoes of the forecast, we're going to be talking about the severe weather side of things first, because things are going to go a little bit more active later on this week. So today we actually have a severe weather risk. Now, it's not a severe weather outbreak today, but we have in the darker green area here, this is across portions of, say, if I can get this to work here, let me see. There we go. Southeastern Iowa here, northeastern and northern Missouri through much of central, south central Illinois, central and northern Indiana. These are the areas that I just highlighted there, kind of outlined in the black. That's in the darker green area. That's a level 1 of 5. That's a marginal risk for severe thunderstorms. This is actually for mainly hail as we go into tonight here. We have a little bit of a stationary boundary kind of setting up in this zone, kind of like that. So anywhere along this boundary here, or maybe just north of the boundary, we're going to have some elevated type of thunderstorms this evening and really overnight tonight after midnight. These are the storms that could be producing that large hail. So let's look at the hail threat here for these storms tonight. Again, it's just a 5% shading for hail, so nothing too extreme with this. But if you live in the, say, central Illinois here, Peoria, Bloomington, Normal region, Champaign-Urbana, Decatur, Springfield, Illinois, and over here toward Macomb, you guys could get some larger hail tonight. If you guys live in northeastern Missouri, so kind of zooming in some of the communities here, Kirksville, Missouri, down toward Columbia, Jefferson City, the Warrensburg, Sedalia region, Hannibal, you guys could get some stronger storms with some large hail as we head through this evening. And thank you so much, Kyle, for the $2 donation. Thank you so much for donating to the channel. Every little bit helps. And again, guys, the donation button is down below, but everybody give Kyle a round of applause for the donation down below in the chat. Thank you so much, Kyle. Much appreciated. But yeah, across southeastern Iowa here, so Davenport, Quad Cities, Ottumwa, Iowa, Burlington, Iowa, Keokuk, up here into the southeastern portions of Iowa, we have a 5% shading for hail. As we go farther to the east, now we're talking about north central Indiana. This is for Fort Wayne, Lafayette, the Kokomo area, Muncie, and then just near and north of the Indianapolis region, we have that 5% shading for some large hailstones, probably around quarter size hail as we go through this evening and especially overnight tonight. So if you live in any of those areas here, do be on the lookout for that. And we're going to actually time out some of these storms right now before we go into Thursday and Friday's severe weather threat, because those days are a little bit more concerning. So let's go right now to the weather models here and check out what we have going. So let's go to the HRRR model. This is one of the more accurate weather models we have to look at some of these storms. And we're going to be checking this out as we go through this evening and see what the radar could look like, where you could expect severe thunderstorms or just thunderstorms in general. And again, mainly just a quarter size hail risk. There could be some gusty winds, but there's no tornado risk tonight. So that is some good news going through tonight. So let's go to the latest models here. Let's see. Let's go all the way back to the. All right, that should do it. Let's see how far that goes out. Oh, about 10 a.m. All right, that'll do it for now. So let's go back here. This is about 7 o'clock. This is where we're at right now. And again, I'll have to look at the radar, but we may have some storms firing up here right along that boundary a little bit there into northwestern Ohio, northern Indiana, into central portions of Illinois. These are not going to be severe, just some general drizzle type showers, some rain showers at times. Not that big of a deal. Probably seeing a lot of fog out here actually across portions of central Illinois. I know where I live in northern Illinois, looking out the window here right now, and it's a little bit foggy out there. So if you live west of Chicago, near the Rockford area, Clinton, Iowa, you guys are probably seeing some fog out your window or door here, looking outside as it's getting dark this evening. But we are going to be seeing the storms start to move in. So let's look at this and let's go a little bit further down the road here this evening. Let's go to about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock time frame rather. And you can see we're starting to see some storms pop up back here across western Illinois, southeastern Iowa, northeast Missouri. Now these could be the ones to produce some hail. Now these aren't, not every single one of these storms will be producing hail, but some of the stronger updrafts could be supporting some quarter size hail here. So this is again, zooming it in, Peoria, Illinois, Decatur, Bloomington, Normal, the Galesburg region, getting down to Macomb or Western Illinois University is located there. Getting down to the Quincy, Hannibal regions, Kirksville, Missouri, Davenport, Quad Cities, Iowa City here, including the University of Iowa. Any of those areas will start to see more of some elevated type of showers and storms, and a few of these could go severe warned with some quarter-size hail, maybe some gusty 40, 50 mile per hour wind gusts as we go through the late evening hours. So watch out for this after 9 o'clock. So in the next couple hours, these storms will start to fire up, and we'll start to see these moving on out as well across those areas. Let's see what's going on the chat real quick before I keep going here. Let's see. Thank you for joining from Central Texas, Layla. Muggy in Central Texas here. Well, yeah, it's going to be muggy. We're going to be getting into the weather for Texas here in just a moment, so stick around. Kyle from Agnes, Oregon, thanks for joining. The Markham, Illinois tonight, Eugene. Valerie, oh no, sounds like might be tornado weather, probably as we go into Friday. It looks like Friday is going to be the bigger day for tornadoes, so stick around. We'll get to that. Definitive Energy, thanks for joining. All right, the live weather, love this channel. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, much appreciated. Sylvia, thanks for joining. Definitely appreciate that. Chad, thanks for joining. Melissa Smith, thank you as well. Tim Key, thank you for joining. Everything skips my area. Just got up from a 3-hour conversation with a friend of mine about moving out of northern Oklahoma. Exceptional drought. Yeah, there's a lot of drought going on over there into the Central Plains. We'll get to that here in a moment as well. We'll kind of talk a little bit about the drought and what I think could happen moving forward with that as well. And probably in my videos longer range too. I know a lot of people are wondering about the drought. Melissa Smith, Fort Wayne. I was the only one with an umbrella today, bragging right until the lightning started. Oh, really? So, yeah, there you go. You got some rain moving into your area. It's been cloudy in Manistee, Michigan all day, Linda says. Yeah, it's been cloudy here too. I live in northern Illinois. Peyton, thanks for joining. Texas. Yeah, we're going to be talking about Texas here in just a moment, Peyton, so stick around. Michael Tingley, thanks for joining. Definitely much appreciated. Hello, Peyton. Rain Maves, thanks for joining. Ausane, thanks for joining. Alice, did you see the tornado in California? Yeah, wasn't that just east of Los Angeles? I remember seeing that on social media. Some people putting pictures and videos out of actually at least a funnel cloud, but I think they did confirm a tornado. So can you confirm that with me in the live stream? Would be appreciative. I think it's a tornado though. I haven't looked much into it. So again, thanks everybody for joining. Much appreciated as always. And if you have any comments, questions, concerns, don't be afraid to drop them down in the live chat. That's why I'm here, to cover all your questions, comments, concerns, and anything about the weather. Even if it's longer range, like we're talking about what could happen the rest of spring. If you guys have a question about that, I could try to give you the answer. Of course, as you go longer into the future, the weather forecast becomes a little bit more muddled. So we'll try and get you as many answers as we can on today's live stream. So back to what I was talking about. Again, late evening, watch out western Illinois here, central Illinois, southeast Iowa, northeast Missouri. Then as we go after midnight here, this is 1 o'clock in the morning. Now you start to see some interesting things happen here. So after midnight, we're going to see what we call a cold front, or a stationary boundary kind of set up right along in this area here. To the south of the boundary, we're going to have a little bit more inflow of some warm, moist air being tossed up over this boundary, but we're also going to be fighting some cooler, drier air from the north here at times as well. So right along that boundary, we're going to kind of squeeze some of this moisture out here, just kind of like a wash rag here. So we're going to squeeze, or like a sponge, we're going to squeeze some of this moisture out right along the boundary. And I wouldn't be surprised, if we're seeing some heavy thunderstorms into eastern Illinois here, northern Indiana after midnight. And these would be the ones to produce some large hail, some quarter size, maybe some 40, 50 mile per hour wind gusts with this as well. Not really a damaging wind risk because the instability is not that high tonight with the storms. But farther north, just some colder rains, maybe some rumbles of thunder. So if you live in the Waterloo area, Cedar Rapids up here toward Des Moines, Iowa City, Davenport, Quad Cities, Dubuque, Iowa, you may start to see some showers, some thunderstorms at times. Those will just be the general garden variety types thunderstorms. We're not really expecting anything severe out of this as it's north of the boundary. A lot of the surface rooted storms, and what I mean by surface rooted is that a lot more energy needed for storms to kind of produce some severe weather will be farther south of the Chicagoland area after midnight tonight. Then as we go throughout the 3 o'clock time frame here, this is going to start to push farther to the east here. The stronger storms will be pushing across Indiana here, northern and northwestern portions of Ohio, and then maybe just some heavier rain. So if you live in, say, the Prairie du Chien region, the Dodgeville region, Fenimore over here towards Madison, Wisconsin, the Baraboo region, and then over there toward Milwaukee, you might start to see a band of some heavy rainfall move through. That will be for a brief couple of hours, so a nice soaking of rainfall into southern, southwestern Wisconsin. Then as we move through the 5 a.m. hour, that'll be pushing across southern lower Michigan there and into southern Lake Michigan. And all the stronger storms, or at least heavier thunderstorms, will be focused here farther off to the east. So we're talking about you over here into Columbus, Chillicothe, getting in toward the Muncie region into Indiana. We're talking about you over here into Parkersburg, into West Virginia near the Charleston region, getting closer to Pittsburgh. That'll be as you start your Thursday morning commute. And then as that continues to kick off to the east, we may have some more storms trying to fire up here back to the west, kind of back building with some of the energy across portions of central Illinois right along that boundary. Like I said, that boundary is going to be kind of setting up in something like this, and right along that boundary is where we're going to see that active wave or waves of severe weather push through. So that is something that we'll definitely have to contend with as we go through the morning hours on Thursday. Now it gets a little bit more interesting here, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the setup for severe weather Thursday and Friday. So now we're going down here into the southern plains and the deep south, including Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, all these areas down here. We're going to be talking about more of the setup because I want you guys to understand why we are seeing the severe weather like we are going in towards that Thursday time frame. So let's switch it over to what I call the NAM 3KM, or what the model's called here. And we're going to go right now to our temperature output because this is important as well. You can clearly see as we go through, we're going to go through to tomorrow here. This is 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Thursday, and you can clearly see, make no mistake about it, there's going to be a stationary boundary, a little cold front here, right in this area here, and this is the area we have to be concerned about for some flash flooding and some heavy rainfall moving forward into this early weekend time frame. We're going to get to that here after the severe weather. But you see south of the boundary, you see a lot of oranges, a lot of reds, maroon reds. Those are warm temperatures. We're going to be warming up here into the 70s and 80s, like mid 80s here. If you live in the Lubbock area, near 80 degrees, zooming it in here, the Abilene, Texas region into the 70s here, Midland, Texas into the middle 80s, maybe 85 degrees as we head in toward the mid-afternoon tomorrow at 3 o'clock. The DFW Metroplex down here will be about 73. College Station, Houston, Galveston region into the upper 70s, low 80s. Jackson, Mississippi over here into the mid 70s. Baton Rouge, Shreveport, Monroe, Louisiana, all you guys will be into the 70s. Little Rock into the 60s, 70s. Memphis over here into the 60s, 70s as well. So we have a lot of warm air. You guys get the big picture here. It's going to be warm across the deep south. So that's one of the ingredients that we need for strong storms. Obviously, you can't get severe weather with cooler temperatures. You have to have warmer air. So now we have to look at something called the dew points. And you see a lot of darker blues and teal shaded colors on here, and even some purples down across coastal Texas and Louisiana. And this is open season for the Gulf of Mexico. We're going to have a lot of warm, moist Gulf of Mexico moisture streaming up right along that stationary boundary that sets up like that. And we have the cooler, drier air moving in from the north. So we have what we call convergence right along that boundary. And what that does is we have a lot of lift or a lot of convergence that leads to thunderstorm activity. And again, we have a dry line as well back here across portions of West Texas. And this dry line is going to set up and push farther to the east. And this is going to be our main player on Thursday and into Friday. This is the front we'll really have to keep an eye on for widespread severe weather and a severe weather outbreak as we go into the day on Friday as it pushes across the central Gulf Coast states. So stick around with me here because we're going to talk about the timing of these storms. So let's go right now to something called the CAPE, or convective available potential energy. This is something that you need for thunderstorm activity, and you see there's an abundance of it, not only across the southern plains, but you see some greens, some yellows up here across portions of the Ohio Valley, and that is for thunderstorm. This is thunderstorm food or thunderstorm fuel as we go through the day on Thursday. And you see a lot more of these yellows popping up right along that dry line down here into west and central Texas. As that dry line intersects some of this energy, we're going to have some thunderstorms popping and getting going here by Thursday afternoon. And you see that here. You see the thunderstorms starting to try to get going right across portions of the Oklahoma City, Norman, Oklahoma region, Tulsa, back here into northwestern Texas. We have a little bit of a waiting game going on here into west and central Texas by 3 o'clock on Thursday. But as we go through the day on Thursday here, we're going to be feeding a lot of this warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico farther to the north. And again, this is going to be feeding right into the heavy rainfall threat and right into the severe weather threat across the deep south going through the day there on Thursday. This is at 7 o'clock. Then as we go late on Thursday evening, then we start to see the dry line starts to initiate some storms here. It's going to take a while, but as we see here into portions of western Oklahoma, West Texas, we're going to start to see these individual thunderstorms develop here, and they'll start developing a little bit further down the line as we go through the evening hours and into overnight hours on Thursday into Friday here. This will start to fill in a little bit more toward the Vernon area, the Wichita Falls region. We're getting down into the Abilene, Texas region, San Angelo, down here into Big Lake, the I-10 corridor into west and southern Texas. You guys will start to see more storms developing for you guys down in this region as well. Who's talking in chat? Let's see. Lives in Georgia, huh? Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, Georgia's not going to see much in the way of severe weather, I don't think, on Friday. I think maybe Saturday, but I think the storm's going to be kind of moving more northeast. So I think Georgia will miss out mostly on the severe weather with this going in towards this week. It's already warm over here. Not looking forward to scorching summers. Well, this summer is going to be warm. I'll tell you that. And I have more weather forecast videos for you guys longer range. My summer outlook will come out on May 10th. If you guys are all wondering, I put my spring forecast outlook out. If you guys want to see that, again, I have 3 videos down below in the description, Peyton and all you guys on here, all saying. I have a derecho video. If you guys want to know more about derecho, that's an educational video. I have today's weather forecast and the spring forecast for 2023. Those videos are down below in the description, as well as my Twitter link as well, so you guys can follow me there. So let's see. It's almost 80 degrees today. Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's warm across the south. So let's get back into this again. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just trying to answer everybody's questions on here because if I don't answer them, then everybody gets mad. And I don't want everybody to get mad at me. I want to answer as many questions as possible. So heavy rainfall across portions of the Missouri Valley, back through portions of central Oklahoma here. But the severe weather threat we're going to have to watch with these storms here. We could have some damaging winds, probably some hail, a large hail at that, with a lot of these storms up in this region, right along that stationary boundary here. And then a lot of these storms along that dry line will be pushing east. These will be big hailers going into central Texas. This is about 1 a.m. in the morning on Friday. Then going after midnight, getting to early Friday morning. You see that the cap, it doesn't really erode too much. We don't have a lot of lift along the dry line as much overnight as we do during the day because temperatures cool down. We don't see as much warm air moving in. So the lift is stronger during the day, but you do still see some isolated, broken line of storms pushing through the DFW Metroplex as it moves farther to the east. Those storms could be producing some large hail, damaging winds. And actually let's go over to the Storm Prediction Center's outlook on Thursday for severe weather here. Real quick, just to show you, I'm going to get rid of this. Going to get rid of that. All right, so let's look at this real quick. Again, I forgot to show you guys this. I'm very sorry. The marginal to slight risk for severe weather on Thursday. The highest risk for severe storms is currently across eastern and central portions of Oklahoma, the Red River area into southern Oklahoma, north central Texas, back into west central Texas here. So this includes places like Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Moore, Oklahoma, Shawnee, Norman, Fort Sill, and Lawton down here. And then across the Red River into North Texas, we got Vernon, Wichita Falls, Denton, Plano, Sherman, Texas, the Fort Worth region, Arlington, Dallas, and then down here into the Abilene, Sweetwater regions, San Angelo. We got the Brady area, Big Lake, and then down toward I-10 here, and then getting closer toward the Rio Grande Valley. So we have a slight risk there. That's a level 2 of 5 going into the day on Thursday. The dark green, that's a marginal risk. That's a level 1 of 5. Still could see some severe storms again up here into south central Illinois, so Champaign, Urbana, Peoria, down here towards St. Louis, O'Fallon, the Jefferson City, Columbia, Springfield areas here. Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Arkansas. We can start to see more storms here. This is generally northwest of Little Rock. And then Paris, Texas, the eastern side of the DFW Metroplex, Waco, Texas, Killeen, and north of Austin, and then down to the Kerrville region along I-10 there into south central Texas. That's with that marginal risk for severe storms going into the day on Thursday. So that's what we're seeing. Now as we go in towards the kind of the hazards with these storms, you see the biggest threat is the hail with these storms. As they initially develop, we're going to have enough CAPE or instability, convective available potential energy in this area here into south central Oklahoma and in northwest Texas. We have to watch out for those 2 inches or larger diameter hailstones. This is near and south of Oklahoma City, south of Tulsa. So we're talking about I-35, I-40 here into Oklahoma. Getting down in towards the Red River into Texas, so Wichita Falls, the Burknett region down here in toward Vernon, and just northwest of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, very close to the Sweetwater, Abilene regions. I'll still have you guys watch out for some real large hail there as well, with over 2 inches in diameter hailstones here as we go through the day on Thursday. This is mainly, however, going to be on Thursday night. So this mainly will be Thursday evening and probably into the overnight hours. So all day tomorrow, it's going to be probably pretty dry here, and it's kind of the calm before the storm. But in this area here, if you live in any of these regions, do be on the lookout for some significant 2-inch larger hailstones. So we're talking golf ball size or larger across these areas as we go through the southern plains here. All right. But if we could still, have some medium to large size hail up here into south central Illinois. So don't want to discount anybody here in the brown shaded colors. So if we're talking about portions of southern Illinois here, Missouri, northwestern portions of Arkansas, these areas, we could still see some quarter-size hail, or otherwise known as those 1-inch hailstones, as we go in towards the Thursday evening, Thursday overnight, and early Friday morning time frame. And that is something we certainly will continue to watch out for going into that time frame. So this outlook could still change. The newest outlook will be out at 1 a.m., which would be the day 1 categorical outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. That will be out on tomorrow morning. So we'll continue to watch this. They'll be updated throughout the day, and I'll be posting more updates on the Twitter with this. So if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, it's on the screen. You can follow me at hweather420, or it's down below in the description. I'll have more updates on this as we go through the day on Thursday tomorrow. Now we got to look at the damaging wind risk here. Again, it's not really a damaging wind threat with this system. We don't have a lot of things coming together here for damaging winds, just mainly some large hail, but we still could have some 60, 65 mile per hour wind gusts here across this region. So this includes Dallas, Fort Worth, McKinney, getting up here into the same areas, Oklahoma City, Fort Sill, Lawton, Oklahoma, excuse me. And then getting into central portions of Texas here, like Abilene, Killeen, Waco, those regions as we go in towards that Thursday night time frame. And then lastly, we're going to look at the tornado threat, because last time I looked, there was a tornado threat on Thursday. Let's see if they still have that out. Yes, they do. They have a 2% shading here. This is a 2% shading within a 25 to 50 mile radius around this area here. So Oklahoma City, Norman, Shawnee, getting into the I-40 corridor into east central Oklahoma, the I-35 corridor there from Oklahoma City to the north side of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Watch out there for some tornadoes. Lawton, Fort Sill area, Wichita Falls, Vernon, and the Burkett area. Watch out for a chance of an isolated tornado going through that Thursday night time frame. Those will be with the initial storms. So those are the initial supercells we'll be watching out for. Supercells will develop right in here, and they'll kind of propagate more east-southeasterly or just straight east as we head through the nighttime frame. And why the tornado risk isn't farther east is because this is going to start to develop more into like a broken line or just a squall line of storms, and that'll be more for damaging winds and probably just some hail. And to be quite honest with you, an unfavorable time of day, because we're overnight now into Thursday night, it's going to really turn more to a heavy rainfall threat than anything else as it pushes farther to the east. All right, so if you live in DFW, it could be a tale of two cities. You could see some severe weather on the western side of the city, here into the Fort Worth, the Denton region, but as it pushes closer toward Arlington and Dallas, and then Tyler, Longview, Paris, Texas, all you guys over here, it's probably going to be on a weakening trend as it pushes closer to the Dallas region. But Fort Worth, Denton, Sherman, Texas, want to still be on the lookout. These storms could still be pretty strong going into the overnight hours on Thursday. As they push eastward into Dallas, they're probably going to be on a weakening trend as they move farther toward the east. All right, so again, guys, just joining me, all 76 people here on the live stream, please press that like button down below. Press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Definitely much appreciated, guys. Again, the more likes we get, the more people that join the live stream, so I appreciate it. Again, I do these live streams for you guys because I want you guys to stay safe out there. Again, it's severe weather season. We're getting into that time of year now, so it's going to be active. Boom, 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 boom. We're going to start to see more and more severe weather threats and severe weather outbreaks going into the spring and summer. So then on Friday, this is a different monster going into Friday here. And I don't want to scare you guys by saying monster, but there certainly is a level 3 of 5, an enhanced risk for severe weather that was just upgraded in the last categorical outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, or the SPC, early on this morning. And we have that in the orange shaded color. So if you live anywhere in this zone, into portions of southeastern Arkansas here, eastern and northeastern portions of Louisiana, western Mississippi, I want you guys all in this zone here to be on high alert, especially throughout the day on Friday. Now, this could expand. The enhanced risk could expand a little bit, or it could kind of be maybe upgraded to a moderate risk as we get closer. We'll have to wait and see. I do think there's about a 50-50 chance that The Storm Prediction Center upgrades this area to a moderate risk for severe storms as we probably go into the day 1 outlook. So that would be Friday morning. So we'll have to wait and see. I do still think there's still a chance that this gets a little bit, this enhanced risk gets pulled a little bit farther here toward like the north and east. So I would be still on the lookout if you live in like Memphis, Jackson, Tennessee, there up towards the Clarksville region into Tennessee, west of Nashville. Still be on the lookout for that. I think up toward Jonesboro, like you guys there, we still might have a little bit of an expansion of the enhanced risk area as we go through that Friday time frame as we get closer. But look at this large yellow box here, or yellow polygon area. This is a slight risk. That's a level 2 of 5. So we have a slight risk as far north as, say, Carbondale, Paducah, Kentucky here, and towards the Madisonville, Hopkinsville region, Bowling Green, very close to you, Nashville, Clarksville, getting over here toward portions, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Huntsville, the Gadsden region, and then getting down farther south here toward Meridian, Mississippi, Hattiesburg, and then getting close to, say, New Orleans, Gulfport, Mobile, all these areas down here, we have a threat for severe weather. And again, the storms will start to fire up again east of the DFW Metroplex. So like Shreveport, Tyler, Texas, College Station, Houston, Galveston, Beaumont, all these areas here, Little Rock, and then they'll propagate farther to the east. The areas at the highest risk currently for severe weather on Friday are Jackson, Mississippi, the Vicksburg region, right along I-20 there, I-55 that runs north-south, Greenville, Alexandria, Louisiana, the Natchez, Mississippi region, and then on up there towards maybe the Tupelo region. We'll see if that gets expanded, but getting very close to the I-69 corridor, very close to I-22 there from Tupelo to Memphis. We definitely have to watch out for some more numerous severe thunderstorms and possibly a tornado outbreak as we go in towards that Friday timeframe. So it is likely I will be going live. I'll either be going live on my channel or I'll be joining another weather person's channel here on Friday. So I'll let you know about that. But again, we will be going live one way or the other. Either I join somebody's panel to go live or I will be doing my own live stream on Friday. So we'll be doing that as we get closer to this time frame. So I'll keep you updated on that. But let's look here at some of the hazards. Again, the hazard outlook for Friday, the Storm Prediction Center doesn't have individual hazards for this, but the probabilistic hazards for severe storms is there. So we have a 30% shading here in the red and a significant hatched risk where you see kind of the hatch marks here. That includes much of western Mississippi, central Mississippi there, southeastern Arkansas, and to much of Louisiana. So Jackson, Mississippi, the Natchez region, down into Baton Rouge, Lake Charles, Shreveport, on up there towards, I think, the Pine Bluff area, and just south of Memphis for now, just southwest of Tupelo. Those are the areas that we have to watch out for some strong tornadoes, so some long track strong tornadoes of EF2 or stronger, 75 plus mile per hour wind gusts, so those hurricane force wind gusts, and those damaging hailstones that could be over 2 inches, possibly even up to 3 inches in diameter down here into this area as we go through the day on Friday. So that is what we're going to have to contend with as we get closer. So let's time this out. Let's get rid of this outlook here. And let's go into the Friday time frame to kind of time this out for you guys. And let's see if anybody in the chat has questions after I do this. I can answer those. So again, keep pressing the like button, everybody. Definitely much appreciated. Weather on the Go is the most informative weatherman. Thanks so much, Tim. Definitely much appreciated. Layla, Weather on the Go with 6 thumbs up. Jeez, I got a lot of thumbs up there. Thank you so much. Peyton says I pressed it twice. Well, if you pressed it twice, then that means you didn't like it anymore, because if you press it too many times, it doesn't like it. So, but thank you, Peyton. So going through the Friday time frame, so this is on 7 a.m. You can see the frontal boundary farther off to the west here. Let me get going here with the marker. We have that frontal boundary or dry line, cold front back here towards the west. That's going to start to move farther east. We got a low pressure system that's down here as well. That's going to start to strengthen and push to the northeast right along that stationary boundary. And as it does so, we're going to have a lot of energy down here. And by 9 a.m., we got some storms starting to fire up. If you live live up here towards, say, Little Rock, Jonesboro, southeastern Oklahoma, north of the DFW Metroplex, watch out for some storms by mid-morning on Friday. This is going through the noon time frame. Again, that front will be pushing through DFW, Little Rock here as we go into the noon time frame. So if you live in these areas, that front is still back to the west. But look at all this open space back here. We're going to be warming up in a big way, and this is going to be producing that unstable environment that we need for severe weather by the time we get into Friday. And then say Friday afternoon, 4 o'clock, still we don't have anything going on over here and towards Mississippi. And that's the concern. We're peak daytime heating now, and it's still very quiet in this area. But the cold front's back here for peak daytime heating, and it's ready to move into that area as we head through the mid and late afternoon hours on Friday. And already we could start to see severe weather. So if you live in Shreveport, the Tyler, Texas region down in this area, or up here into central Arkansas, we can start to see severe weather toward the Little Rock region, Jonesboro, Pine Bluff, those areas as we get into the 4 or 5 o'clock time frame on Friday evening. And then going through the evening hours here on Friday, this is going into 7 o'clock. Now, here's the concern as we go into Friday. This is what the Storm Prediction Center is very concerned about. So a couple days ago, it looked like this was mainly going to be just a solid squall line of storms that was just going to produce widespread damaging winds and push off to the east or northeast. Now the new mesoscale models are out, the NAM, the NAM 3KM, the HRRR, all these other different models here, and they're also painting a different picture than what was shown just a couple of days ago. And this is what I want to get your attention on. Is now we're starting to see these models. So for example, the NAM 3KM is showing here these individual supercell thunderstorms developing. And supercells are the likely mode for tornadoes here if this does occur. We have all of these supercells developing with the main boundary and cold front back to the west. So this is ahead of the main, the frontal boundary. So that is the concern. And as I turn this over here and look at some of the energy and the environment, so we look at, say, Cape, look at all of the energy here that has to be eaten up by these storms that is already in this environment. So this is a concern. We have a lot of Cape here in the lime green and yellow shaded color in this region here, and that's why that enhanced risk is there, because the frontal boundary is going to be moving through from west to east across this region. Now, another thing we have to look at is what we call significant tornado parameter. And we have some pretty decent values. Friday is a couple days away. This is only Wednesday evening, and we're already seeing some values here with the supercell, the significant tornado parameter here of 2s, 3s, 4s on the NAM 3KM, and that's concerning. So as we go even farther into the evening, so like 9 o'clock, we start to see these values actually climb through the evening. So 4s, 5s, 6s even starting to show up here. So that's very concerning. So when you see significant tornado parameter at all, that means there's a chance for a significant tornado if a storm moves into that environment. So as we move through portions of like say southeastern Arkansas, northeastern portions there of Louisiana, western Mississippi, that's the concern. So I would even look out for this in Memphis here, down toward the Pine Bluff region, Natchez, getting up there toward Greenville in Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi, the Baton Rouge area, Monroe, Alexandria, Louisiana. These areas will have to be on the lookout for some strong tornadoes going through the evening hours. This is after dark, so this is nocturnal severe weather. And look at, even as we go into 11 o'clock on Friday evening, there still are some large significant tornado parameter, what we call STP values, across portions of western Mississippi, northeastern Louisiana, and southeastern Arkansas as we go into that time frame. So that is definitely a concern. And just in general, the supercell composite values, it puts all the parameters together, and you can see as we go back to about 7 o'clock that evening, we still have those values starting to grow here across the west, and then they push farther east by 9 o'clock, and you see those values start peaking right along the lower Mississippi Delta region as we get through the mid and late evening hours on Friday. So that is a concern as we move through that time frame. And it all has to do with the jet stream as well. You have a very strong trough, and on the base of the trough, we're going to have some very strong mid-level winds. This is the 500 millibar layer, and you can see the wind screaming out of the southwest here. We have a very strong trough here, kind of more of a neutral trough here across portions of the central and southern plains. All that strong wind is going to be pushing right along the base of that trough here, producing the damaging winds and widespread possibility for large hail, tornadoes, stuff like that. And then we have the low level jet is going to be there as well. And you can see the low level jet is going to be punching in across these areas as well, just underneath that mid level jet. So we're going to have a lot of speed shear. We're going to have a lot of directional shear. So we're going to have a lot of change in direction with height. Okay, so this is something we have to watch as we go farther in toward the evening on Friday. Tim Key, has anyone heard from Mr. Williams? I have not heard from him lately. I think he has some family issues he was talking about in one of my videos before, but hopefully he can come back soon. Hopefully he can come back soon. Yes, he lives in Alabama somewhere. I'm not exactly sure, but it doesn't really matter. I think he has some family issues. I think he has to take care of. His friend was very ill, so I think he was taking care of his friend and checking up on him. So he's been busy lately, but hopefully he can come back soon and everything's okay on his end there. So hopefully his friend's okay. Hopefully he's all right, and he'll be back soon. But yeah. Hey, but if you guys want to donate to the channel, I forgot to tell you again, you don't have to donate. You never have to donate. Again, just you being here is amazing. Thank you guys. But if you guys ever want to donate to the channel, you guys can send me super stickers, super chats. All that is down below as well. That's all turned on, so you guys can do that if you so please. And subscribe to the channel. If you're new, hit the notification bell so you get all these live streams, especially if I go live on Friday, which I will. I'm either, like I said, going to go live on this channel, or I'll be joining another panel of a weather channel. His name is Pow Ponder on Weather, and I'll be joining him potentially on Friday as well. So I'll be letting you know what will happen with that, and I will get you the details on that going on Friday, all right? So, yeah, Michelle, yep. How's the weather in southwest Kansas this weekend? This weekend, well, we got the system pushing off to the east on Friday, all right? And then as we go into the day on Saturday, this is going in towards the 1 o'clock time frame here. Let me go back to let's go back to the GFS because this is going to show you. So you said southwestern Kansas, right? So let me go to the GFS here. This is on Saturday. Right now, southwestern Kansas, there could be some precipitation, likely some chances of rain into western Kansas there on Saturday. This will be Saturday afternoon. Probably not anything too terribly heavy. That's going to move quickly off to the east as we go into the overnight hours. We'll have to watch this again. Maybe a couple thunderstorms in there, but I don't expect any severe weather necessarily on Saturday across Kansas. But maybe some sprinkles, showers, couple thunderstorms there, some garden variety type storms. Nothing like that. That's severe. So maybe some precipitation there, but what's that, Peyton? RTS. What's RTS supposed to mean? I'm not too good in abbreviations. But yeah, that's what we're seeing going through that time frame. And yeah, the heavy rainfall threat. I almost forgot. We have to talk about that. Look at the heavy rainfall setting up through this weekend. This is going all the way through Sunday morning, and look at the heavy rainfall setting up right along the Ohio River Valley here. Very heavy rainfall here. This is across southern Missouri, southern Illinois, southern Indiana, southern Ohio, northern Kentucky, right along the Ohio River there. So if you live in Cincinnati, Evansville, Indiana, the Henryville region, Louisville, down into like St. Louis, Carbondale, Paducah, the Jefferson, those areas north of Little Rock, even Memphis. You guys will be in the threat for very heavy rain as we go through the day on Thursday, Friday, and into Saturday before that system pushes farther north. And what the rainfall totals could be like here Say southern Indiana, we could see up to 6 inches of rain from now all the way through Sunday, March 26th at 1 o'clock in the morning. That's across the Bloomington region there into southern Indiana, the Greenwood region, about 5 inches. Indianapolis, we could even be seeing 2 to 4 inches of rain for you. Dayton, Ohio, down toward the Cincinnati region, a good three to 5 inches of rain for you. 2 to 4 inches of rain there in the Columbus. We're talking the Evansville region to Louisville, about 2 to 4 inches there. St. Louis, O'Fallon areas will be up to around 3, 4 inches. Carbondale, Illinois, down to about 3.5 inches. Paducah, about 1 to 3. Back here into Springfield, Missouri. Springfield up there toward Jefferson City, we could be seeing anywhere from about 3 to 5 inches. Locally, 6 inches there, right along I-44 into southern Missouri. So that will be the concern as we go through portions of southern Missouri. It's what he always says. I gotcha. Yeah, I gotcha, Peyton. Anonymous, is there a risk for tornadoes in College Station, Texas? Um, is there a risk for no? There's not a risk for tornadoes there. The storms as they come in on, for example, here I know I'm showing the rainfall thing here, but as the cold front pushes farther east, so like say like this is what the kind of the delineation of the cold front will look like. As it pushes farther east, the storms in this area will weaken, but then they'll reform across these areas and they'll push farther to the east on Friday. So you're gonna kind of be in between the severe weather threat at College Station, Tyler, Texas, and that in East Texas. So if you're anywhere in East Texas, you're kind of in between the severe weather threat, say on Thursday and Friday. So you're kind of, in the unfavorable time of day for severe weather in those areas. So we're not really seeing much in the way of severe weather tornadoes into College Station. I would still watch it. Things can change a little bit, but the tornado threat there in College Station on Thursday is going to be farther northwest. So like in this area here, that's the tornado risk there and towards that Thursday time frame. And then into Friday, the tornado risk is going to be highest with something like this. So if you live in those areas on Friday, so you're kind of in between because College Station's right here. So you're kind of in between those areas there with the tornado risk on Thursday and Friday. All right. So that is what we are currently seeing with this. Again, be on the lookout. If you have any interest for flooding here in the Ohio River Valley, a lot of the rivers, creeks, streams, ponds, lakes, anything like that here, ditches, low-lying areas, they're going to be filling up with water and very quickly. A lot of this here is going to be falling in a short amount of time. We're talking about just a 2 to 3 day period of some of this rainfall. And again, some of these areas could be seeing over a half a foot of rain. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some surprising 7, 8, 9 inch totals with rainfall down here into southern Indiana is definitely possible. Some of the past flooding events that we've had this past couple of years into the Ohio River Valley. You guys remember the devastating flooding in central and eastern Kentucky here recently. You guys remember a lot of that here a couple of years ago. So a lot of those flooding events did take place, and they actually were overachievers going back to that time frame. So we'll continue to watch this as well. Then, of course, the next phase, we got to look at the snowfall potential because, yes, I know it's late March, but we even have some snow to talk about. Now, with that said, when you see these snow totals into northern Illinois that says a foot to 16 inches of snow on the GFS model at 18Z, I will go ahead and tell you that is not going to happen. The GFS model is going crazy with the snow, and this is not going to happen. So disregard what the 18Z GFS is showing if you live in Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois, Iowa, any of these places here. Now, will there be snow? Yes, but is it going to pile up to 16 inches? No, it's not going to happen. So let's go in toward the models here and show you what the NAM showing as well, with the snowfall going all the way through the end of its run here and going through the 25th time frame. So the NAM 3KM is not even showing anything in this area. All right. So the GFS is putting a foot to foot and a half of snow, which it won't happen. And then the NAM 3KM shows almost nothing. So that's my point here, is that it's not going to happen, guys. So don't even look at the GFS. Not even worth it. And let's look here at this one. That's more like it. All right, so let's look at this here. So if you live in northern Illinois, this is probably more of a realistic depiction of what you could see on here. So we're talking maybe an inch or two. Now this shows 5-6 inches. While that is a possibility with some of these deformation snow bands this time of year, I will note that the ground temperatures are warm. So while this could, if this was like December, January, yeah, you could see a half foot of snow here. I think more of the 6 inches that is showing 6.7 inches up here toward like Highway 20, I-90 up here in Illinois, Rockford, Illinois, up toward Milwaukee. It's showing about like 8 inches, 10 inches of snow. That's going to be, subtract about 3-4 inches off some of these totals. That's probably what you're going to have. So like Milwaukee, it shows about 9-10 inches. I think a good 2 to 4 inches would be a good bet for you there. Northern Illinois, I think anywhere from about 1 to 2 inches is a good bet. And this is again going to be on grassy surfaces, so we're not talking about the snowfall piling up on the roads. The roads will be wet. They'll be slick at times, especially if we have some of the heavier snowfall rates that could overcome some of the lag in the warmer temperatures that the roads and surfaces like that asphalt have. But we're going to just continue to keep an eye on it here. So if you do live into Michigan, southeastern Wisconsin, northern Illinois, there will be some snow. This is most likely Friday overnight into Saturday. This will not pile up to over a foot of snow, and a lot of these areas will see just a dusting to an inch, mainly on the grassy surfaces, maybe a couple more inches up here into, say, western lower Michigan, eastern UP of Michigan, into southeast Wisconsin there near Lake Michigan, like Milwaukee, Racine, Kenosha. Those guys, you guys could start seeing maybe about 2 to 4 inches on grassy surfaces, maybe some slushy snow on the roads if we have heavy enough snowfall rates. But again, don't buy into what the GFS is saying. I have no idea what's going on with that weather model right now. 12 to 16 inches is not going to happen across portions of these areas. So if you're looking at the GFS, absolutely not going to happen. So all right, so just a couple inches of snow here and there. And then the mountain snow out west, yeah, we're talking about a lot of heavy mountain snow. So we don't want to forget you out here into the Rockies. So if you live into like Wyoming, Salt Lake City area, Denver, especially in the higher ranges, higher elevation west of Denver, higher mountain ranges there, you guys are going to be seeing some over a foot of snow, possibly over 2 feet in some of those areas out west. Definitely seeing a lot of that here into the coming days. So that is something to watch going through this weekend. So a very active weather pattern. I'm trying as best as I can to cover it all in my videos in the morning. If I skip your area, I apologize. I'm going to the areas that are most important for severe weather, snowfall, all those things, the most crucial areas that we need to cover for weather. Again, hopefully I can cover as many areas as I can, but I can't put out a 45-minute video because let's be honest, who wants to watch a 45-minute video on the weather? Nobody. So I'm going to try and get all these areas that need to be talked about with the weather in, and we'll go from there. All right. So hopefully you guys enjoy my videos in the morning, and they're not too drawn out for you guys. I just try to break it down for you as best as you can, or as best as I can to so you guys understand it as best as you can. All right. Had some hail in Indiana, covered the ground. Wow. All right, Max. Yeah, definitely. That's a threat into northern Indiana. There's some, possibly up to quarter size hail as we head toward the late evening hours into the overnight hours tonight. So that is definitely a possibility if you live there into northern Indiana. All right. That is definitely a possibility. Again, guys, hit the subscribe button down below. Please hit the like button. I would love to get over 100 likes here on the live stream before I'm out here this evening. So please, please, please press that like button down below, everybody. And again, I'm going to go back to this just to show you guys because we have severe weather on the way. Again, this is for tonight. So if you live into central Illinois, northeast Missouri, southeastern portions of Iowa, into northern Indiana here, there is a threat for severe weather. Now it's a level 1 of 5. So we're not talking about an overall outbreak with this, but we are talking about maybe some isolated hail, maybe some gusty winds from these areas here as we head through the overnight hours here and getting in towards early on Thursday morning. These storms will likely be severe in this area here. If they do become severe warned, we'll have hail and maybe some strong wind gusts that could be over 50 miles per hour here potentially in some areas. But again, 1 or 2 of these storms will likely be severe. Many of these probably will not be. But of course, heavy rainfall will definitely be a possibility there. You pressed it 3 times, Peyton. There you go. There you go. Thank you. You can watch nonstop weather on the go. You live, eat, and breathe weather. Yeah, that is for sure. I look at weather models all day long. That's that's all I do, pretty much. Just kind of like right now, after my live stream's done, I'm already back on looking at weather models, weather data, and putting my video together for the morning tomorrow for you guys. So already. We've had blizzards in New York City in April. The snow is short lived, though, because the ground is warm. It's not impossible. Right. Yeah. Exactly. If the ground's too warm, it's not going to accumulate like some of these models show, especially with these early season or even late season events. Like when we're getting into March, April, a lot of these models say, a foot of snow, but then all of a sudden it's like, well, hey, now you got to take a step back and say, well, the ground's been warm. Is 50 degrees out 2 days ago. And yeah, if it's snowing 2 days after it's been in the 50s, of course it's not going to accumulate as much. So you might have to look at it on the grassy surfaces more, and even that might be hard to come by because if it's in the 50s, even the grassy surfaces, it takes time for it to accumulate there as well. Yeah, I'm talking about hail, Max. Yeah, northern Indiana up here. So like if you live in Indiana, like Fort Wayne, Lafayette, Kokomo, Muncie, Indianapolis, Gary, South Bend, some of those areas there, you might be seeing some 1 inch quarter size hail overnight tonight, stuff like that. If you live, say, into central Illinois, so like along I 74, I 80, I 39, so Bloomington Normal, or Champaign Urbana, Danville, Decatur, Jacksonville, Quincy, Macomb, where Western Illinois University is, Galesburg, the Peoria, Canton region, those areas, Princeton, LaSalle, Peru, Joliet, those areas we'll be watching out for some hail potentially in Illinois. Northeastern Missouri, so Kirksville, Hannibal, Columbia, just northwest of the St. Louis metro area, so Jefferson City, the Wentzville region, Sedalia. You guys will be seeing some large hail potential later on. And then Iowa here, a small sliver of southeastern Iowa. So Ottumwa, Burlington, Keokuk, Iowa. Getting in toward the Muscatine region, Davenport. You guys will have a threat mainly along and south of I-80 in Iowa there for some 1 inch quarter size hail as we go through the evening hours and overnight tonight. So that is the concern moving forward throughout that time frame. So you guys have any questions about tonight's threat for severe weather? Drop them down in the live stream chat. Again, it's open to anyone and everyone, and we'll get your questions answered here. So you have any questions? Anybody have any questions about tonight's threat? Thank you so much, Eugene. $20. Thank you so much for your donation. Very much appreciated. Very generous. Everybody give Eugene a nice round of applause in the live stream chat for a generous $20 donation. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Thank you so much, Eugene. Thank you. All right. Then let's talk about Thursday's threat. One more time here. We got tomorrow's threat here. This is on Thursday. We still have a marginal risk. Again, we're going to cover the marginal risk first. So if you live in South Central Illinois, again, the same areas, Champaign, Urbana, Bloomington, Peoria, down into Springfield, Decatur here, down towards St. Louis, O'Fallon. You guys could see maybe some larger hailstones, some damaging winds there, and then that will push down into Missouri. So Columbia, Jefferson City, St. Louis metro area there, Springfield, Joplin, Missouri, those areas will be at risk for some storms, especially those marginal type of severe storms. So I-49, I-44 there into southern Missouri. And then as we go into northwestern Arkansas, we have a level 1 of 5 on Thursday. So Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, northwest of Little Rock there. This is for portions of I-49 and I-40. That's into northwestern portions of Arkansas. Then a higher risk for severe weather, a little bit higher of a chance of storms, level 2 of 5. That's in the yellow shaded color there. That's in eastern portions of Oklahoma. So Tulsa down into Oklahoma City. Getting down across portions of I-35, I-40, I-44 there, and toward the Shawnee region, Norman, Moore, Oklahoma, Lawton, and Fort Sill, and then getting into northern northwest Texas here. So we're talking about the Vernon area, Wichita Falls, I-35 here into Texas, the I-20 corridor. So from Sweetwater to Abilene, Fort Worth, Denton, the Sherman area, Plano, Dallas, Arlington, all you guys there. That extends farther down toward the San Angelo region, Brady, Big Lake. All you guys here will be in that threat for some severe storms. That goes all the way down to Highway 83 and Interstate 10 into western and southern Texas there with that slight risk on Thursday. Going over again the individual risks for severe storms and what they could bring to the table on Thursday overnight. We're going to first go through the large hail threat because that's the highest, most dangerous threat for the severe storms on Thursday. Anywhere in this brown or yellow shaded color, there's a chance for some hail. This extends from Illinois all the way to Texas here, but in the yellow shaded color, that is a 15% chance of hail that covers eastern Oklahoma, much of central and west Texas. And then you see a black hatched area for hail. That is actually what we consider a significant hail. That was what we see for 2 inches or larger hailstones in those areas. That could be golf ball size or larger. So that is what we're seeing out there as we go through that time frame. All right, so if you live in southern Oklahoma, northwest Texas, definitely watch out for some of the hailstones there as we go through that Thursday time frame. Now moving over to the damaging wind threat. On Thursday, the damaging wind threat is not going to be that prevalent, but we still could be seeing some 60, 65 mile per hour wind gusts here into eastern Oklahoma in those same areas like Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Norman, Shawnee, all those areas down to the Red River. And then it moves farther south and westward into central Texas as we head in towards, say, that Thursday night time frame. That's as a squall line of storms will try to get going here across West Texas, and that will try to push farther east very slowly across the DFW Metroplex as we head into that time frame. So if you live in these areas, watch out for the squall line, and then that will push towards the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex by Friday morning. All right, so if you live in Dallas-Fort Worth, McKinney, down to Waco, Killeen, Austin, you guys will see possibly a broken line or weakening line of storms move through as we head into the morning commute on Friday. So if you're heading off to work or school down here, just be aware of some storms that could be severe as they push in. But they'll be on a weakening trend as they move in from the west across East Texas. So do be on the lookout for that. Then we have a threat for tornadoes. It's a small threat, but we have a threat for tornadoes here across the Red River there into southern Oklahoma, northwest Texas. This 2% shading within a 25 to 50 mile radius. Again, we're going to include Oklahoma City because it's pretty close to that 25, 50 mile radius here needed for severe storms to become, produce tornadoes. So Oklahoma City, Norman, Shawnee, along I-40 there into eastern Oklahoma, along I-35 that runs north to south there in central Oklahoma toward the Red River. That's a threat for some tornadoes, an isolated tornado or two there going into Thursday overnight. Lawton, Fort Sill, Wichita Falls, Burkennett, and then down toward Vernon, Texas. This is all northwest of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex as we head through the overnight hours on Thursday. So this is going to be an overnight threat for tornadoes. So don't go outside. Don't look if you have a tornado warning, don't go outside. Don't go look for these tornadoes. They A, could be rain wrapped, and B, they're going to be nocturnal. It's going to be after dark, well after dark, probably after midnight if this does take place. So we'll cover it here. I may be live Thursday night, overnight, even after midnight. If we do see some tornado warnings, I probably will be jumping on here live to cover this for you guys. So we'll be looking for that threat potentially going into the overnight hours Thursday into Friday on here as well. Then as we go into Friday, this is the main show. Into Friday, this is the main day. Like I said, I will be going live one way or the other, whether it's live myself or live with somebody else on their panel. His name is Pow Ponder on Weather. I may be going live on his channel as well with him because this is such a big threat. I will let you know as we get closer which we decide to do. But I do think that we definitely have a pretty decent threat for severe weather here. Anywhere in this, especially the yellow or orange shaded color, all across the Tennessee Valley here, the Arklatex, Arklamiss regions, down in the lower Mississippi Delta, these areas we have to look out for some widespread severe storms. But especially in this orange shaded color, I want you guys to really be on high alert here if you live in this area, because we really have to be on the lookout for possibly a developing tornado outbreak in toward the overnight hours there on Friday. So this will probably be Friday evening, late afternoon, evening, overnight. So this will be another nocturnal threat for tornadoes here. We could have strong, long track, violent tornadoes in this orange shaded color. So if you live in southeastern Arkansas, Louisiana, into west central Mississippi, including Jackson, Natchez, up toward Greenville, Pine Bluff, and then down here toward Monroe, right along I-20 there, Vicksburg, I-55 there, running north-south into Mississippi, the Alexandria, Louisiana region, right along I-49 there. Just take your proper precautions here as we get closer to Friday. Review your severe weather plan and tornado safety plan now so you guys are ready for that in case of a tornado warning or severe thunderstorm warning moves into your area as we go in towards that Friday afternoon, Friday evening, and Friday night time frame. Okay, so review your severe weather plan. Know where to go if you have a tornado warning in these areas. If you have a storm shelter or basement, go to those. If you have a severe thunderstorm warning or tornado warning especially, and stay away from windows. That's another important thing. But if you don't have a basement or storm shelter, you want to go to the lowest, most interior room away from windows that you can. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. If you guys have any mattresses, bicycle helmets, motorcycle helmets, anything that protects your head, that definitely helps, especially overnight when you don't know where the tornado is, and if you're under a tornado warning, so you guys can stay safe here as well. So I want everybody to stay safe, whether you're in the dark green, yellow, orange shaded color on Friday, all right? So it doesn't matter if you're in central Kentucky in the dark green, or Clarksville, or Nashville, or even the Jackson, Tennessee region, or Jackson, Mississippi. Take this seriously because this threat could expand. It could be upgraded. I definitely think there's a 50-50 chance that this orange shaded color, some of this area gets upgraded to a moderate risk. And the area that would be upgraded to a moderate risk, if it did take place, would probably be, I'm going to put it in red for you guys so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. And this is my highest confidence. If the Storm Prediction Center decides to go moderate with this, it'll probably be in this type of area here. All right, so I'm talking about you in western portions of Mississippi, northeastern Louisiana, and extreme southeastern Arkansas. So Natchez to Greenville to Jackson, Mississippi there, and then getting over there towards the Monroe, Louisiana region. That would be the area that I'm really concerned about for strong, violent, long track tornadoes with supercells Friday afternoon and night. And then for those widespread hurricane force wind gusts, 75 miles per hour or stronger, and then those 2 to 3 inch hailstones are possible in that zone potentially as we go in towards that Friday night time frame. Another note to take from this is that there's possible still, and again, another 50-50 shot here, the Storm Prediction Center pulls this enhanced risk a little farther north, or at least expands it across some of these areas. So western Tennessee, northern Mississippi, northeastern Arkansas. We could be seeing that enhanced risk maybe a little bit farther to the north. So I'm talking about you, Memphis, Jackson, Tennessee, the Jonesboro region. If you live anywhere up here, Blytheville, the Dyersburg region, Collierville, even up here toward Clarksville. Just watch your weather forecast. Right now you're in a slight risk. I would not be surprised if this expands in coverage with that enhanced risk as confidence builds as we get closer to this day, all right? So I definitely want you guys to stay safe as much as possible. I'll be providing you guys daily updates on Twitter. So again, follow me on Twitter at hweather420. It's on the screen or down below in the description, and you guys could get more information on this developing situation with severe weather later on here this week, starting here tonight. So I'll be doing that as well. So whenever there's breaking news with significant severe weather outbreaks and stuff like that, I will be going live this spring and summer, fall, very frequently throughout the year. Again, we're going to have several of these. This is the first of many probably to come as we go through the spring and summer. So I will keep you posted on each and every single one of these as we move forward. All right, guys? So you guys will know what to do when storms move in and severe weather strikes your area. All right? So that is something to watch out for. I'm going to put a poll down below, guys. I'm going to put a poll. All right, I'm going to put a poll in the chat for you guys. Just one moment here. I'm going to ask you guys a question, and I want to know a serious answer to this question, okay? Are you, or sorry, here, let me rephrase this. Do you have a basement or storm shelter? All right. I want to know, do you guys have a basement or storm shelter? I want to know how many people have a basement or not. If you don't have a basement or storm shelter, press no. So the poll is there. I want to know. Everybody vote the poll. I'm just curious how many people have basements or storm shelters. So like if you live in Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, Tennessee, Alabama, these areas at risk, not only just tonight, but even Thursday and Friday. Do you guys have a storm shelter in place? Do you know where to go when severe weather strikes your area? And you don't even have to be in the risk area at all. So if you live in like Wisconsin or Minnesota, do you have a basement or storm shelter? Just put yes or no in the question there. So everybody vote. What is a 1488? I am not sure what that is. Better than nothing. Yeah, exactly. 13 votes. Guys, there's 53 people in the live stream. I need people to vote. We got 13 votes in. So far, wow, you guys don't have basements or storm shelters? 57% of people say no so far. Wow. So keep on voting, guys. And guys, you have any questions for me on here? I definitely can answer them as best as I can. If you guys have any questions. So anybody have any questions? Just putting that out there. Yeah, as of today, I just hit 25,400 subscribers, and right now I'm at 25,402 subscribers to the channel. My goal ultimately is by the middle of spring getting to 30,000 on my page. So thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. It really does mean a lot, so appreciate it. Whether it's watching a video every day, these live streams, anything like that, much appreciated. We got 16 votes so far. We need more people voting. Do you have a basement or storm shelter? Yes or no? That's the poll question here in the live stream currently. We only have 16 votes. I know you guys haven't voted yet. A lot of you guys have not voted. Melissa Smith, a second floor apartment, thankfully made of brick. Well, that's good. But even if you have strong um, if you're on the second floor, that's not where you want to be, to be honest with you. So if you're on an apartment building, if you have like an apartment building that has a basement like underneath of it, like you go to the first floor and then it's for all residents, that would be the best option. But if you have an apartment building and you're on the second floor, uh, I'm not. Is there like a plan they have, Melissa, for like tornadoes and stuff in your apartment building of where to go? If there's like a storm shelter nearby or something like that, or a centralized location, lowest, most interior area if you don't have a basement in that apartment building? What's my favorite kind of weather? Severe weather. This is my season, guys. Yeah, I unfortunately hate to say it. I love severe weather, but I don't like what it does to people. I don't like the damage that comes along with it or anything. I just like the cool clouds that come along with it. So that's why I like it so much. Like derechos, windstorms, and stuff like that. Those are my favorite to look at, especially with the clouds. Those big, tall shelf clouds, wall clouds. Those are my favorite. So I haven't seen a lot of those the last couple years, but hopefully this year, as the severe weather migrates farther north into where I live in northern Illinois, hopefully I can see more of that coming up later this year. Really, Max says, me too. Yeah, definitely. It's pretty cool. If you guys have never seen a shelf cloud or wall cloud, look it up on Google. It looks pretty cool. Shelf cloud looks like a shelf, like a bookshelf, and you basically just put it's because all the warm air rising up, and then you have the cool air with the downdraft of the thunderstorm. It's such a cool sight to see. A wall cloud is a little bit different, but it looks like a wall coming at you. It's really cool. So guys, if you guys don't know what it looks like, definitely look it up. A helmet ain't gonna do well. A helmet is better than nothing. So what I always say is, If you have a helmet, put it on. If you have a mattress, anything that helps. If you have a bathroom or a closet or something that is just right in the central portion and the lowest, most interior room away from the outside, like put as many walls between you and the outside as possible, and do as many things you can to keep yourself safe, especially your head, your entire body. You guys want to just stay safe because um, again, we've had a lot of these tornado outbreaks this season, and unfortunately, a lot of them have had at least a couple of fatalities, and we want to cut down on that number as much as we can going forward. Okay, so we want to do that moving forward with all these events. We want to keep that number at 0. So that's why I do these live streams, because we need people to be more weather aware about these events. Nope. No, Melissa says nope. No storm instructions. Most interior space would be the stairwell between the units on the first floor. Really? Wow. Huh. Well, I can say if you have a tornado, the second floor would certainly not be the place where I would be for a tornado warning. That is for sure. That would be the last place I would be, is the second floor of a building. So if you have any way possible to get down to the first floor and put as many walls between you and the outside as possible, definitely do so. Stay away from windows. If you, like I said, if you have a helmet, bicycle helmet, anything like that, Melissa Smith. If you live in Mississippi, Arkansas, or Louisiana, or anywhere in the severe weather threat there on Friday, just have that capability of doing that just to stay safe. Okay, so have ways, and that's why you practice the severe weather safety days and even weeks, months beforehand, because so you know where to go when severe weather strikes if there's a tornado warning. I love catastrophic weather. Well, I don't like the catastrophe that it causes. I don't like that it produces damage and ruins people's property and livelihoods. I just like the storm clouds that come along with it. Like I said, the shelf clouds, the wall clouds, and stuff like that. And actually, if you guys don't know, if there's any storm chasers here and any people that want to be storm chasers, the best picture of a storm, to be quite honest with you, is the farther away you are from a storm, the better. The closer you are to, say, a tornado or a storm, the worse the picture is because you're so close. You have more of a picturesque type of postcard view of the storm if you're farther away from it, okay? So like say 20, 30, 40 miles. It's so much better to look at it, especially with the structure of a supercell or like a derecho as it's moving closer. Of course, derechos move very quickly, so you still want to be safe there, but um, it's more picturesque farther away than you are closer to the storm. Sane will come to my rescue. Well, there you go. At least you got somebody to help you out. Alrighty. Anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions for me regarding severe weather, winter weather, flooding, anything weather related? Yeah, you guys can ask me down below here in the chat here this evening. Again, we need 9 more people to like the live stream to get to 100 likes on the live stream today. So if 9 more people could at least like the live stream, I would definitely appreciate that, guys. We need 9 more people to like the live stream to get to 100 likes. I definitely appreciate it. Max says, yes, I love the towering cumulus cloud. Yeah, that's cool. Like in the summertime, you get all that rising motion and you get the warmer air and you have the cooler air aloft, so it produces the big, strong, tall looking cumulus, or even what you call cumulonimbus clouds, which are thunderstorm clouds. So those are pretty cool as well. Oh, sorry, Scott. I missed your question. Is there significant snow coming to Wisconsin after March 27th? Probably not. Honestly, we're getting into late March, early April. If any snow is going to be moving through, it's not going to be that much, and most of it's going to be falling on grassy surfaces, pretty much, because we're getting late into March. The sun's setting later, and we're also seeing warmer days, and the sun angle's higher. So a lot of that's going to be falling, and it's basically going to be just kind of melting on contact with the ground. So especially the roadways out there, a lot of that's going to be melting on contact. So we're not really seeing much in the way of, say, accumulation. Now, if it's heavy enough snow, then certainly. But I don't like looking too far out in the future. I know March 27th is not too terribly far away, but right now I don't see any big snow events that scream significant for me to look at. All right. I like the fish scale looking clouds too. Really? All right. I haven't seen too many of those. There's some cool clouds. You guys should look it up on Google. They're called Mammatus clouds. Mammatus. Mammatus. Mammatus clouds. And those usually happen before or after a strong thunderstorm has moved through. I actually have some pictures of that myself that I saw last year. And those clouds are very cool looking. That's for sure. They almost look like popcorn clouds, or what I call, like, if you guys know what popcorn chicken looks like, it basically looks like that, or what I call like cottage cheese clouds. That's basically what it looks like. It's kind of like cottage cheese. If you scoop cottage cheese out of a container and into a bowl, that's basically what the cloud looks like. It's kind of cool. So yeah, look that up. Mammatus clouds. Is northern West Virginia getting snow anytime soon? I northern West Virginia. Let's go back. Again, I don't like using this. For some reason, the GFS model's been really crazy lately. Right now, I would say probably not. You're going to honestly be on the warm side of a lot of these storms. So if you live anywhere in West Virginia over here, you're going to be on the warm side of a lot of these storms. A lot of the snow actually this time of year is going to be more up here into, like, say, southeastern Canada, so Quebec, Ontario, upper Great Lakes regions, maybe back into the lower and upper Midwest at times. A lot of the snow of this time of year is going to be up in that area. So West Virginia, you're going to be way far to the south. So I don't really think so. I think the snow is going to stay farther off to your north. So you might pretty much be, besides the upper elevations, like the spine of the Appalachian Mountains there, I think a lot of the lower elevations of West Virginia might be done with the snow. Now I say that, but April, we still have to get through April, and there still could be snow in April too. So again, there's still a chance for snow in West Virginia, but the chances within this next week are extremely low. We need one more like to get to 100, guys. Could I throw you a wrench? I'm not exactly sure what that reference is. Michael Mays, good, thank you. You're welcome, Michael. Um, yeah, Michael, can you not spam? Again, all you guys, don't spam the page. If I don't answer your question, I'll get down to your question a little bit further. Just don't spam the chat, otherwise I'll have to time you out, all right? You're welcome, Michael, though. Ryan, what is the next 90 days forecast for? I can't. 90 days, man, that's 3 months. That's 3 months. Go onto the Climate Prediction Center's forecast. They have all that for you there. Yeah, I'm not going 90 days in the future because things change. I'm not doing that, guys. So I'm not going to be one of those guys. Can you see with the dew? You mean the dew point? The dew point? Well, the dew points are going to be down across the south. So yeah, what that has to do with anything, I'm not sure, Christopher. If you're talking about dew points for severe weather, again, the dew points on like third Friday is going to be pretty high, like 60, 70-degree dew points down here and toward the deep south. But I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about with that. I don't know what dew points have to do with anything besides severe weather at this point. But unfortunately, Ryan, no, I will not be going 90 days into the future talking about temperatures in Wisconsin because A, it's absurd. Um, B, it's too far into the future, which makes it absurd. And three, it's too far in the future. So I'm not doing that. So sorry. I'll be putting videos out with long range forecasts. You can watch my spring. And again, Ryan, if you want to know more about my about the spring temperatures in like Wisconsin, go down below to the description, and I have my spring forecast 2023 video down below. And click on that, and that will give you the temperature trends and what I think will happen the rest of spring, all the way through May. Okay, so hopefully that'll answer your question there. But on this live stream, I'm not going to answer that because it's too absurd for me to answer. And if you guys also want an educational video on a derecho, if you guys have never heard the term derecho before, click on the description down below where it says educational video. What is a derecho? A lot of great information in that video. I got today's weather forecast down below, spring forecast 2023 that was released about a month or so ago, and I'll be putting my summer outlook out in on May 10th of 2023 here. So that'll be coming out here in several weeks ahead. So if you're looking forward to summer, that will be coming up. That will be coming up here in the next few weeks, several weeks here. I'll be putting that out. But here you go, guys. That's the Super Weather Thread on Friday. That's the main day we're watching. Again, I'll go live Friday afternoon, Friday evening, and Friday night on my channel, or I'll be joining Pow Ponder on Weather on his channel, and we'll be doing kind of a panel discussion and going over live radar analysis on there and other things, going over storm reports and all that type of stuff on his channel as well, if we decide to do that. Otherwise, I'll be on here doing a live stream covering live radar analysis with real-time watches, warnings, advisories, all that stuff. We'll be going over all that on here and getting you the latest details on the storm and storm reports on here or there as well. So I'll be updating you guys on whether or not I'll be live on my channel or I'll be going over to his channel. I'll be doing that later on, either tomorrow or Friday morning. So watch out in the community tab for that. Right, Max. Yeah, exactly. And beating a week out, let alone 90 days. Now, the long range models are helpful. I will say that they're not totally, not used. The use of those are mainly for trends. So, like, if you're looking at a long range weather model, such as like the CFS or the Climate Forecasting Systems model version 2, I know that's a lot of words for you guys to understand, but the CFS version 2 model, or like the NMME model, which is another climate model, or the CAN-SIPS model, which is another climate model used on climatology and stuff like that, or what the Climate Prediction Center uses as is like the GFS extended, the European extended guidance that is used for trends. So they look at the trends in the weather models over a long period of time, over a month, and they say, well, what do the trends look like? And climatology is very important because you look at the past weather, and then you look at the now, and then you look at the future. So it's always kind of a piece to the puzzle you have to try and put together, and it's a very interesting way of doing it. Analogs help very much so, because if you have a storm like, say, the Deep South here, we've had a lot of severe outbreaks in this area alone, like what we're having tomorrow. So it should be no surprise to you guys about what to do down here into Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, and all these areas, Alabama, Tennessee, because you guys over the past couple of years, we've been in a 3-year La Nina, and you guys should know what to do in those areas. But I like to do these live streams because in case you don't know what to do, um, we get you that information. Tim Key, Pello Time. Good night, all. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining, Tim Key. And again, I'll be going live on my channel or over on Pow Ponder on Weather's channel on Friday evening. We're going to be possibly doing a panel. I was going to kind of join his channel potentially on Friday. So either here or there. So I'll let you know. I got up later this afternoon, actually. I got up about like 3 o'clock. I'm not even tired yet. Actually, I've only been awake for a few hours. I'll be just putting my video together pretty soon. Past your bedtime, Michelle. Thank you, Weather on the Go. See you in the morning. Please be safe, all. Love and prayers from the gritty city of New York. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Michelle. Definitely much appreciated. Thank you for supporting the channel, supporting the page and my videos and live streams, all that type of stuff. Thank you so much. And again, thank you very, very much for the donation, Eugene, for your $20 donation. And thank you so much to Kyle for your generous $2 donation. Thank you so much. I appreciate all the support, all the donations on this channel as well. Well, that's going to wrap it up for me here this evening. I wanted to come on, talk about severe weather and some other things. Stay safe. I'll be updating you on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at hweather420. Again, it's right on the screen or in the description below. Click on that. Follow me on Twitter. I have more videos down below if you want to check them out, including today's weather forecast, the educational video on derechos, or spring forecast video of 2023. All right. And again, my summer forecast will be coming out about May 10th of this year on 2023. All right. So all that stuff will be coming out. I'll have a new video out for you guys tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. So you will have updates on the severe weather, the flooding, the winter storm impacts, and all that stuff, and the long range weather forecast in my video tomorrow morning. That's at 9 a.m. Also, another educational video that will be coming out later on this weekend, probably Saturday or Sunday. We're going to talk about a thunderstorm and how it forms. So we'll be doing that on my video, another educational video for you guys later on this weekend. Thank you so much, Eugene. We appreciate you as well. Thank you so much for your generous donation. You're welcome, Alsane. Thank you so much for joining. Melissa Smith, you're welcome. Thank you for joining. Excuse me. Peyton, thanks for joining. Much appreciated. Michelle, thank you for joining. See you tomorrow. Layla, good night all. Thanks, Weather on the Go. You're welcome. Thanks for joining. Much appreciated. Again, I'll always try to be the most accurate weather forecaster here on YouTube, so you guys can always count on me to provide you guys with an accurate weather forecast on YouTube. All right, guys? Alrighty, thank you guys for joining. Again, be safe tonight, tomorrow, and especially Friday. Watch out for the live stream on Friday, whether I go live on my channel or on Pow Ponder on Weather's weather channel. As on a panel there, we'll be talking severe weather in real time, radar analysis, storm reports, and the whole 9 yards. All right, guys, have a great, safe evening, everyone, and I'll see you in my video tomorrow. Good Wednesday night, everybody.